Let's see who showed up. Like this.
Yay. Hey guys. Welcome, welcome. Hey, somebody tell me if you got good audio. Give me an audio report, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. How's the audio? Nobody's giving me an audio report. Thank you for good audio, Avery. Welcome aboard. Toolmaker. It's time. Hi, guys. So, welcome to the Kinetic Precision shop. We are in southern New Hampshire, in the town of Windham. And the shop doors are open, and it is a gorgeous day. So, we're really enjoying some nice... hey, Octane, how are you? We're enjoying some great weather. A little bit too much pollen. My car's yellow. And lots of allergy meds. So we'll give it a few more minutes for some more people to roll in, and then we'll get going. Manch Vegas, welcome aboard. Alex Sugar, hi. Manch Vegas. So, for those of you from other parts of the universe, that's a nickname from Manchester, New Hampshire, which is the big city. All right. Well, it's officially, it's 2 o'clock, so anybody that was supposed to be here should be here, or be square. So this is where I make my PFG stones, and the grinder that I use is right there. It's a Micromaster 618. But there's lots of other stuff going on in the shop. Student machinist. Hey, student machinist, welcome aboard. I got your comment that said you had 1 million questions about grinding wheels. Okay, wave received, Alex. So I don't know if this is the place for 1 million grinding wheel questions, but I'll try to explain. Hey, Warren, welcome aboard. Warren is my neighbor in New Hampshire. He's in the woods. And so let me, while you all figure out your questions, don't send them yet because they'll scroll off my screen. Is there any way to make the scroll use the whole screen?
No idea. However, there is a question button that people can use. I'll do one for an example.
Okay. No. So. You know, when you get good at doing one thing, you look like an expert. But I have a lot to learn in the grinding world. So let me give you a little background. I am first and foremost an antenna designer. That probably comes as a shock, but I'm an electrical engineer. And many moons ago, I got into machining in order to build what I designed. So I got into machining, and then it was a slippery slope. It's out of control. It's a total disease. So, by the way, how many of you listen to the Within Tolerance podcast? He might be here today. I'm not saying why, but I think you should be listening to the Within Tolerance podcast.
Yeah, I just joined.
Oh, did he just join?
Yeah. You can can see the by the way, the questions. See the little red thing at the bottom there?
Oh, I have a questions button. So over here, my daughter, also known as Conjet, is you can wave.
Hello.
There's the wave. So she's helping me out with the social stuff. So I am now getting schooled. There he is. Are we within? The question of the day is: are we within tolerance? I mean, are we? So I'm going to hit this here question button and see what happens. Okay. This is an example question from tech support.
You can share those on the screen too, I believe.
Everyone watching it will see it on the screen. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. So I started in machining to make my own prototypes and build antennas, and it got out of control from there. So now in the shop, we're sitting right now in the grinding department. Hey, Adam. So we have the grinding department and the welding department in bay number 3 of a 3-car garage. So that's what this is. This is just a residential 3-car garage. And over in bay number 2, we've got a Haas TL1, and that's the turning department, and a bunch of my toolboxes, which you can kind of see the backs of right there. And then in the way back, yeah, the Department of Grinding department. Thank you. Somebody who, 2 of them. I'm surrounded by like minds. That makes me a little scared. So that's Bay 2, and over in Bay 1, we've got the Vertical Machining Center, which is a Sharp SV2412S. It's 24 by 12. 16 tools in the changer, 10,000 RPM, and the Bridgeport, which everybody needs, and the bandsaw, which used to live right here, is now back there because there's going to be a bunch of new grinding action happening here. We've got a Okamoto coming in, CNC grinder, model ACC 818NC, if you're a nerd. Well, you're all nerds, so, you know. Anyway, Okamoto's inbound next few weeks, sometime, who knows when it will land. All right, we'll throw the floor open for questions. Ask me anything. Thank you, Conjet. So while I'm waiting for questions to pop in, you guys should write down conjet.art. That's her website, and that's Conjet's portfolio page. And if you go to the links in my bio, all that stuff is there, so you don't have to write anything down. Links in bio. So what can I tell you? I know we have more people rolling in. Nadir, hello. We didn't plan that. I know. It's just in the ether. So, for those of you that don't know, my product is PFG Stones, which stands for pretty freaking good. And these are diamond ground flat stones, which are magnificent. How long have you been in manufacturing? Before we do that, can we just listen to this? Okay, so how long and why did I start making flat stones? So manufacturing, the highest volume of product that I've made of any one product prior to PFG Stones was probably about 100 pieces. And that would have been in the area of antennas. And so a company would come to me and say, we need a specialty antenna to do XYZ on these bands and with this pattern and with these environmental requirements. And we need 5 of them. And I would actually design, simulate, optimize, prototype, and then build those 5 special antennas, and that would generate an invoice, which hopefully they pay. So that was one method that I operate. So is that manufacturing? I guess it is, in which case the answer to your question is 25 years I've been turning the knobs. But I've never been in high volume manufacturing, and the PFG Stones is the highest volume single product that I've ever made. Why did I start making flat ground stones? So I, like most of you, I'm a student of the art, and I follow many YouTube creators in the area of machining, and I follow lots of YouTube creators on Instagram. Machinists on Instagram, and I learn. I am not afraid of learning something I don't know how to do and trying it and failing it and trying it and failing it and trying it and failing it and then finally succeeding. So one of those wonderful people who may join us today, I don't know, is Robin Renzetti. And for most of you, that name is very familiar and it comes as no shock. And Robin is a magnificent tool maker and a real engineer's engineer. And he made a video called Precision Ground Flat Stones. And I watched this video, and I'll leave it to you to watch it if you haven't. And in doing so, I was just like, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant tool, and I must make those. So I went ahead and I bought a whole bunch of stuff to make precision flat ground stones according to Robin's recipe. And then I did what a lot of expressives do. I let it sit in a pile for almost a year until I got around to it. And then finally, the last piece of the puzzle that was bugging me was the work holding. Robin taught the use of these magnetic finger hold downs. There's another fancy name for them. And I didn't have them, so I was going to make them. So I actually bought the materials to make them. And I didn't get around to making them. And that stumbling block led me to start designing my own work holding. And to this day, every single PFG stone that I've manufactured was manufactured on work holding of my own design. So that sort of difficulty, that stumbling block became an opportunity, and I went ahead and made my own work holding. I'm on essentially the third generation of work holding, and that one day will become a product. So to finish out that question, I see another question in the queue. To finish out the why did I do it question, was I did it because Robin made a good case for owning them and using them in precision applications, and I said I needed that. So I made my first set. Could you open that top drawer right there? Yep, give me that set right there, carefully.
Here you go.
And this is the set. This is not like the set. This is the set. You see the black dot in the middle? So I made this set of stones, and I put this up on Instagram. And 7 guys asked me if I was selling them. So here's the lesson. If you make something and you put it up on Instagram and 7 guys say, hey, are you selling those? What is the correct answer to that question?
Yes.
The correct answer is, yes, I am. So that's how I started making them. I made them for me. There's an important lesson there too. I made them for me, and then 7 other guys said they wanted to buy them, and I was in business. Never looked back. So the term PFG Stone, which stands for pretty freaking good, and the red dual tray became our trademarks. And if you see that, it's one of ours. So that's the why question. I think I answered that. And Alex, you made those hold downs. Yeah, absolutely. They do work great. They're a fantastic tool. And and it was just my stubbornness that caused me to invent some new stuff. Okay, is it normal for stones to load up as soon as you use them? Whenever I stone my mag chucks, I always clean them first, then stone them, and they still load up. Suggestions, or is this the nature of the beast? Excellent question. So, a stone that actually gets used gets dirty, right? And if it looks like that, don't worry about it. That's kind of normal. If you are stoning a soft material, Adam, Adam the machinist is with us. Welcome aboard. If you're stoning a soft material, it's going to load up. If you stone aluminum, it's going to load up. And there are things you can do to mitigate that. We're working on some recipes right now for how to apply the stones to aluminum. And I don't have an answer for it yet, but we're actively working on that. Your mag chuck is mostly aluminum. However, I got to tell you, my mag chuck, which is right over there, is a standard Walker ceramic fine pole, and I stone that thing every time I use it. I stone the heck out of it. And these are the stones. These 6-inchers are the ones that sit here in the grinding department, and I use these all the time, and they're not loaded up. So I'm not sure if maybe you're doing something a little weird, but I use them every single time we change the setup. Adam says, use drain cleaner to clean aluminum from stones. First of all, let's take this opportunity to say that Adam the machinist, Adam Demuth, is a magnificent grinding hand and tool maker. So if he says it, I believe it. Have I tried it? No, I haven't. So drain cleaner is sodium hydroxide, and if you ever used or saw a commercial for Drano, they actually have flakes of aluminum in sodium hydroxide, which you then drop into your water, and it bubbles, and you think it's doing something, but sodium hydroxide will clean aluminum. So, yep, drain cleaner. I haven't tried it. I have had stones come back from people using them on manual machinists. Welcome. May I call you Manuel? That was a joke. I've had stones come back from the field for a regrind. Not many, by the way. 2 sets in all the time I've been doing this. And in both cases, it was heavy aluminum use. And they were still working fine. And we didn't try the drain cleaner trick, but I just gave them a regrind and sent them back out. Oh, really? You must be making a funny, Adam. How often do you regrind PFG stones? How do you judge for wear? So let me encourage you to use the question button, but I'll answer that one before I go back to the question button. I have never reground any of any. Well, let me put it a different way. 2 sets out of hundreds of sets of stones have. No, you're serious. Okay. I want to hear this story, Adam. 2 sets out of hundreds of sets have come back to me, and I've reground them. I've reground my sets only because I was testing a grinding recipe, and if you're using them, quote, properly, whatever that means, they go a long time before they need a regrind. They might need a cleaning, and if you head over to my information page, pfg.gg, which you hear too much about, I have some information on cleaning the stones. 43 Bullock, welcome aboard. Logan, welcome aboard. Let me hit my question button here. I've got 2 questions lined up. Okay, I think we answered how often do we regrind PFGs? How do you judge for wear? Oh, actually, let me address how do you judge wear? Hey, Laney, welcome back. So, if you're using a stone and you get a gouge in it, the stone is still useful because the gouge removes material. So really, it's still fine to use. I guess it's application dependent. But if you really chew up a stone, you'll know it. If you cannot, here's a metric. If you can't stone a precision surface without adding scratches, that stone is worn out. That should not happen, even with a stone that you've used a long time. Let me show you one other thing here.
Which bar? It's drawer roulette here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know where it went. So we've done. There's a video on my page on pfg.gg where I take a stone and I take a diamond dressing tool and I gouge the stone. I won't tell you the punchline, but just go watch the video. All right. Next question. What are your favorite resources to learn and get better at surface grinding? That is a good one. So, unapologetically, I'll say YouTube channels that are from quality people. I'll just name them some off the top of my head. You must follow, and I'm going to name both either YouTube or Instagram. You must follow Robin Renzetti on both Instagram and YouTube. You must follow Adam Demuth. He's on Instagram. Adam, I don't think you're doing any YouTubes. You have to follow him. For a long time, I followed Suburban Tool, Don Bailey. I learned some things from that channel also, but I don't think they're really making videos anymore at the moment. Well, Ox Tools is magnificent, except he doesn't do quite as much grinding, but if he teaches it, it's right. And many others. So the answer is, okay, Manuel. The answer is I'm learning it from the same way you're learning it right now. You know, you find guys that know what they're talking about. And I'll take this opportunity. Oh, so thank you. I didn't mean to leave out Solid Rock Machine Shop. Oh my gosh, what a grinder hand. He is absolutely magnificent. I have one of his squares here, the precision tooling blocks, and it's wonderful. Don Bailey. Yeah, Don Bailey. So that was a great resource when I got started, also, Suburban Tool. So those are some of my favorites. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. And be warned, there's some people that aren't necessarily showing you the best stuff, but you got to just dig. All right, what's next? What's the evolved stone of the future look like, from Adam the Machinist? Okay, so that's a really good question. One of the problems I'm trying to solve is the loading up question when we're working with soft materials. I know you and I typically work on hard materials, but I have customers working in soft materials. So there's some questions there. They need the same thing we need. They need deburring of precision surfaces, and that's something I'm looking into. So there's some solutions for that coming down the road. There's also some solutions for odd shaped, which is to say odd surface shapes that need the same treatment. And one of the things that's going to happen with the new grinder that's coming in, if you're joining us late, there's a new Okamoto coming in sometime in the next few weeks. We're going to retire the Micromaster. It's going to a new home. But having the CNC performance, as you know, Mr. Demuth, is going to allow me to make some interesting stones. So there's some stuff coming there. Also materials. We've been using the Norton materials, which we found very consistent. I wouldn't say very precise, but they're very consistent and predictable. So maybe some new materials. We're looking at those. Okay. We have some international guests joining us. Welcome aboard. All right, going to the question board. That's a good question. Do you use the edges of the stones much? Actually, yeah. So one of the things, so let's talk about edges. One of the things, I'm going to come clean with a story that I'd never told before. So when I made my first set of stones, I literally shipped them in the morning, and sometime in the afternoon, I get a message from Robin Renzetti, and he says, "Did you grind the sides?" Inspiration Tool Works, Metalworks, welcome aboard. Hey, buddy. And so Robin says to me, "Did you grind the edges?" And I said, "No." He said, "Yeah, you should grind the edges." And that was it. I actually, because this first customer was also a friend of mine, I said, "Dude, I'm sending you a new set of stones, and just send me those back." And that's what happened. That was serial number 001. And I'm not going to tell you who that was with. But ever since we've done it. So yeah, we use the stones, we use the edges of the stones relentlessly. And a good example, I can't give you a good example because I'm unprepared. But there's some places you got to get in. Now here's an important thing, and I talk about this in one of my videos on PFG.GG, is don't use, you could if you're careful, but use one face of a stone at a time. So if you're using the big face, use the big face. If you're using the edge, use the edge. If you're trying to use it as a perfectly perpendicular reference, that's not a good way to go. The perpendicularity is not guaranteed. When are the precision? Oh, let me go back to. Okay, I could answer that one now. So, my buddy at Laney Machine Tech, when are the precision ground round stones coming for machine tool tapers? So that's one of the ideas for to task the CNC grinder with. So it is on my mind, and I know you're kind of laughing there, but no, I'm still thinking about it because that's one of the surfaces we need to address, and it's not trivial at all. Okay. How do you make dovetail stones? Do you grind the entire angle? So that's I don't think that's a passive aggressive question because I don't make I don't make dovetail stones right now. I had a customer in Europe who asked me about dovetail stones, and I said I'd figure it out, and I actually did a whole bunch of work holding, and this was not one of our rectangular stones. This was a wedge type stone, and I didn't like the way it was going. And I'll get back to it, but I know there's a good demand for it, but I don't have a solution right now. So when the dust settles, new grinder comes in, we check some things off the list. We're going to look at dovetail stones because I know that's important, and it's important for the scraper guys out there too. I get a lot of those requests. Hey, my buddy down the street, GLG Knife Works. Hey, if you would like to look at some excellent self-defense tools that are non-metallic, and some that are metallic, go over to GLG Knife Works and check it out. Don't be two-faced when grinding. I could not say that any better. There it is. Don't be two-faced. All right, another question coming in. Have you ever ground a stone for dovetails? I have. I think we answered all of those questions. I'm ready for more. So, let's see. Mr. Steve Golson has joined. Welcome. Steve and I work together in other avenues.
Hey, speaking of solid
When the
rock,
dust settles. Yeah, exactly. Friendly question. Is most likely going to get answered by using the question. Oh, that's yes. Conjet is managing you. Solid Rock Machine Shop, welcome. We just talked about you.
we were just gushing about
We were
it.
gushing about you. So once again, while seeing as he's here, I have one of Solid Rock's precision tooling blocks, and it's an awesome piece of work, and I couldn't have done it any better. Yes, there is an awesome artist behind the scenes. She can wave.
Hi. I'm the one who's doing tech support.
Yeah, she's doing my social support, really.
Social tech designing.
She's supporting me emotionally. All right. All right, hit me with another question. So, questions popping in. What's the QC process for PFG Stones? There are really two. One of them is what you would call SQL, which means every now and then I actually take a stone and do measurements on a surface plate for flatness. That gets really boring because they're really flat. And the other one is these things right here. I can feel when I condition the stones. This is in the manufacturing process. When we're all done and I'm about to finish cleaning them for packaging, I will do that. And if I don't hear that, and if I don't feel that with these sensors, it doesn't go out the door. So that's the most important QC. But yeah, we do sample and measure. Bob Lemire, let me tell you, he is a famous guy, and if you don't know who Bob Lemire is, you should. You should follow him on Facebook, on Instagram right now.
If you don't follow him, he's going to kick Dad in the head.
So yeah, Bob Lemire is my grandmaster in Taekwondo, and he was my first Taekwondo instructor, and I love him, and he's a great guy. How's the weather down your way? So it's gorgeous. It's like unbelievable. It's partly cloudy. The doors are open in the shop here. It's absolutely fantastic. So, except for the pollen. LK Machinist, your familiar name. Welcome aboard. Okay, take care, buddy. GLG Knife Works is heading out the door. Nice to see you. Are you up north, Bob? Or are you down south? Okay, what's the plan for the old grinder? By the way, it's not that old. It's 1983 iron. This grinder has a cool history, and then I'll answer your question. The iron is 1983, but the VFD, the monster VFD that was built into the electrical cabinet, which is up on the wall over here, was dated 1980. So somebody married a 1980, yeah, older than you. Don't tell me that. Somebody, do you know how old I am? Stop laughing. You know, I've been taking vitamins since I was 87, and I think they're working. So it's a 1983 iron. It's 1980 VFD, which of course we've been ripping the guts out of it, so the electricals are different. And it's a magnificent machine. If you look at my recent posts where you belong on Channel 5. Yeah, yes, I do. If you look at the recent post I did where I ground my offset plate, I ground a 6x18 offset plate, and then we measured it. It was dead nuts. So this grinder is doing a fantastic job. If the operator, if the nut on the hand wheel holds, the grinder will do its job. So to answer your question, where is it going? It's literally going about 5 miles. In fact, I'm wondering if he's going to join us today. Adam Duke, who has also got an Instagram channel, or Instagram, he's on Instagram. He is buying it, and I'm going to help him get set up. He's building a shop, and he's very excited. And he's exactly the right guy to get it. And the machine has to go 5 miles. So when the new Okamoto comes in, my rigger will, hey Glenn, how are you? So far, the person I've known the longest in my life on this chat just joined. When the new grinder comes in, my rigger is going to pick up this grinder and deliver it 5 miles away. So he's got an awesome deal, easy peasy rigging, and I'm very excited that a good guy is getting it. So that's the answer to that question. Let's see. I'm trying to go in chronological order here. What was the decision-making process that arrived at the Okamoto? So, well, I wasn't going to do what you did. I'm just kidding. So, I'd had my eyes on the Okamotos for a long time. I'd visited the Okamotos at East Tech. East Tech is one of our big trade shows. There's an East Tech and a West Tech, and you probably, if you've been in the trade at all, you know about it. So I've had my eyes on the Okamotos, and then John Saunders, when I was up visiting him, actually took a Richard King scraping class at Saunders Machine Works, another fine company, a fine company. He had an old 12 by 28 big Okamoto, and it was worn, but it was magnificent. So the name Okamoto stuck in my head, and I kept an eye on them. And then now Adam Demuth, who graces us with his presence, he bought a Parker Majestic, which looks magnificent. And I don't really think they entered my consciousness. Okay, buddy, take care. I don't think they entered my consciousness when I was doing my research. At least they didn't enter enough. And I think when you talked about it, Adam, I think I started looking at those. But the final straw was the one I bought, which was the ACC 818NC, is a Fanuc control. Now, I know a lot of people aren't too whipped up about Fanuc controls, and some people are, and they think they're bulletproof. My VMC down the shop here is a Fanuc control, and it is almost identical to the control that's on the grinder, so I know the control. And I felt comfortable with that. Then the next thing that pushed me over the edge was I went down to Connecticut and I visited the Okamoto dealer who's down in Connecticut, about an hour and a half. Yeah, about an hour. No, more than an hour and a half. Anyway, I may be getting my location confused, but he was accessible. And they had the machine on the floor, and I kicked the tires, and I, shook hands, or almost shook hands, because it's COVID season. And I trusted the guy, and that was it. I wrote the check. All right. What do we got? Glenn. Stay care, Glenn. Okay, next question on the queue. Have you experimented with stone abrasive materials other than aluminum oxide India stones? Well, I am making a silicon carbide stone in round only right now. So we've done silicon carbide, and my recipe for grinding the stone face is almost identical, and it works just great. So we got silicon carbide. And experimented with a little bit, but we haven't done anything else yet. So I'm open-minded about trying some new things. So, here's an entrepreneurial note. I can't spread myself too thin. So there's like a dozen experiments I want to do. And I got to be careful that I don't get spread so thin that I start not doing the main thing well. So not as much experimenting as my brain would like me to do, and as much as the engineer in me would like me to do. Okay, so the stone trays, the holders for the stones, are indeed 3D printed by me. And the very first stones that I pictured on Instagram were in the same thing. It was in a tray that I designed and 3D printed. So to this day, yes, I'm 3D printing the trays. It works great. It takes less time to 3D print a tray than it does for me to go through my production process. It's a CNC process, so we have it down cold. It's in my basement. I know you're going to ask. Take care. I know you're going to ask. I have a Lulzbot Taz 6, and I've got a Prusa Mark 3. So those are my two printers, and I crank them out. Oh yeah, the Norton boxes they're just boxes. I mean, I don't think I hate them. I don't think we've ever had a conversation. But yes, the Norton boxes, they're useful for other stuff. All right, next question. I think we got that one. Okay, I think we answered them all. By the way, you can ask me questions that are not about stones. That's okay.
Like t-shirts.
They look great. Thank you very much. So if it's red and if it's a dual stone tray, it's my trademark.
Trademark.
Trademark. All right. It's 2:41. I think we're going to go till 2:45. Break time is over. Got to go. Take care, buddy. We'll keep you posted on the Okamoto. All right, we got 3 minutes left in this live. And then we're going to head out. Yeah, she's funny, all right.
It's my job to be a pain in his ass.
Mission accomplished. It's partly my fault, so what do I got to say? All right, with our 3 minutes remaining. Oh, question popped in. Philosophical life lessons on working in a garage alone. Wow. Okay, with intolerance, we'll catch you later. So, no, that's a really good question. Good shoes.
Says the man wearing shop slippers.
Yeah, I'm wearing my shop slippers. I actually, it's kind of cool going to lunch. Don't eat lunch in the shop. Go to the kitchen. And I don't think you're bad at this, but that's what I do. Take a break. Music. Have music. I have my 3M Bluetooth headphones, and I'm either listening to music or I'm listening to podcasts, usually podcasts, or I'm listening to Audible book if I'm doing something kind of drony. Take care, Bullet. So I think it's important to have some of that for your head, and then go for a walk. I get out of the shop and go for a walk. The nice thing about being in the shop alone that's attached to my house is I can take a break and go just walk around the house. Go look at the trees and the birds. So again, I'm not here 40 hours a week. So I'm upstairs. Right above me is my office and lab, and I do antenna stuff. So I'm sort of a mixed bag, but you know, I have my mechanisms for working alone, and those are some of them. So I don't think I have any more really super whoopee philosophies. The other thing is, it's not new to me. I've been on my own for 25 years, so it's hard for me to think about that. Let me think about that. Maybe we'll answer those questions in more depth on another venue, if you know what I'm saying. Conjet.art asked, what happens to bad stones? Nobody knows. Bad stones don't leave here. So I'll use them for experimenting on grind recipes. So if I have a stone that doesn't go well, and I've had a couple, and I'll tell you why in a second, I keep it around, and then if I come up with some recipe change that I want to make, I'll go and test it on those stones. But they'll never leave here. So let me tell you what the number one cause of a bad stone is. And it's not what you think. It's not operator error. That's number two. The number one is I'll come up with weird material. And again, it doesn't happen very often. And it happens most often on the so-called fine side of the stone. But it will be wrong. It won't grind correctly. And if it doesn't get past the smell test, I just dump it. So that's the number one reason. And it does not happen very often. But when it happens, it's out. I have a very, very small scrap pile. Hey, CNC repairman, how are you? All right, I think we're out of questions, and it's 2:46. So I think we're gonna ask for one more question, and then we're done. And if I don't get another question in 10 seconds, we're out of here. You guys are awesome. If I haven't said it enough, those of you that are my customers, thank you very much. We've really enjoyed making the stones. It's been a great product. My philosophy is I want to make products that I use, and I think they're a great tool. So we've enjoyed it. Junkyard Cars, you've joined just in time for me to say goodbye. And I apologize. We'll try to save this. Can we save this video?
Yeah, we can. So
yeah, don't explain it.
I'll show you afterwards.
Okay. Tech support says we can save this video. So we're going to save this video. All right. Hey, thank you. Take care, guys. It is a magnificent day out. At least here it is. Go do something positive. Have some fun. Hug your family.
Get flat, stay flat.
Get flat and stay flat.